Hello, welcome to Front Royal Election 2020. I have here with me the current mayor of Front Royal, Gene. Welcome.
Thank you.
Gene is here as a running for candidate of council now. He approached us and he's very concerned on some new developments that are happening in our community that he wants to share with us. And it has to do, I think, Gene, with the current conflict with Valley Health and Anthem.
That's
And
correct.
so what's on your mind?
Well, we have a big issue with the Valley Health and the Anthem issue because, our town employees are part of the Anthem group as well as the county,
And
and
how many how many
we have
people?
about 150 on our policy, and the county, the actual county, excluding the school board, has about 288, plus the school board has about 900. So
100.
we're affecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,400 people just in those three entities.
And that doesn't include any citizens or
that doesn't include any citizens or other, areas where they have Anthem as their primary carrier.
right. So it's a little confusing to me. I mean, I have Anthem myself, so this is why it's
Okay.
important to me because I don't. Well, my wife's company is on Anthem, which has probably 125 people.
Hmm.
So what I find is it's going to have a big impact on our community. Gene, if they don't come to terms, why is that a concern for you? I mean, how's it?
Well, it's a big concern in several different ways. If they can't get a doctor in the area in their locality that is covered through the Valley Health, then that means they're going to have to go to Northern Virginia or from Gainesville in that area in order to get services from the medical field. And what that's going to do is going to put an overload on the medical field in Northern Virginia and more of a stress on the people that have Anthem if they cannot work out some type of an agreement with Valley Health. So it's imperative to me that we need to get involved in this situation and ask Valley Health and ask Anthem to settle this situation because it's affecting probably in the neighborhood of 40,000 people or more
Wow.
in the whole area. I mean, I don't know if that's a factual number, but at least 20% or up to 40, 50% of the people have Anthem, and it's really going to take a toll on our citizenry of this area.
Well, I mean, as a citizen, I'm a citizen first here. So in other words, if they take it away, I would have to either go to Charlottesville or somewhere down in Gainesville, I think or the two hospitals that actually still have contracts with Anthem. Is that the way I understand
Well, the way I understand it is, if they do take it away and they don't get to settle, then you'll have to go out of the network
it?
to another area, which would be probably under Nova or another one,
Right.
further, like you say, Charlottesville, and things of that nature. So that's going to be a big impact on our economy. It's going to be an impact on people that have the Anthem insurance to have to, travel some distance away. But I think one of the bigger aspects of the whole issue is the fact that, if I'm a family that has Anthem and Anthem is not being served through Valley Health, and I have other families within my family,
Right.
and they see that Anthem is not going to be carried through Valley Health,
Right.
then they're going to not only lose the Anthem people here, but their families are going to go to Northern Virginia as well. And so that's going to be a big impact on our citizenry of Front Royal and Warren County and other areas that's in there.
Well, Gene, what you're just pointing out. I mean, my kids are all gone. I'm sure probably yours too.
Mine too.
Front Royal has a lot of families with a lot of kids,
That's right. Yeah.
and it's never fun going to the doctor anyway. And when you have to go to the hospital, it's the family dynamic. But if one of the children gets sick and it's not covered, normally you could either go like they just built a new hospital here.
Right.
So what will happen is instead of being able to go to that hospital and be covered, they would have to drive all the way down to either Gainesville or Charlottesville just to
Right.
get that service, right?
Because we're out of the network.
And have you seen some of the numbers when you go out of network on health care?
Oh yeah. And another big issue that I see here is, if Valley Health doesn't take the Anthem insurance, then that means that if I want to go locally, then I'm going to have to pay a big difference,
A big premium.
a premium, in order to get services here in the Front Royal area or even in Winchester.
Well, the other thing, Gene, is I just thought about it as you were talking. We have been very fortunate that we haven't been hit by the pandemic
That's
as
true.
much as many other communities. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but you see what's going on now in the Midwest. I mean, Wisconsin is at the highest levels of the country, just like New York was. So they're all going through this. And I hope this will never happen. But let's say it circles back around this winter, which they're all being very scared, and then you have this big surge of people sick. That means all these people, I mean, they can't get immediate service. They're going to have to, like you said, go outside to these other places, a pretty good distance away, which I think is just, I mean,
Well,
you think they've thought about that?
I hope they did. I would think that the people that are negotiating would have enough, fortitude to see the ramification that's causing, and know what the results are going to be. But again, going back to the pandemic, if this thing does get bigger, and the people are sick, I mean, it's a shame that we have a lot of local doctors and whatever, and they can't even go see them because they're not in the surrounding area that Valley Health owns a lot of the doctors' offices, and so they have to go to another area to get service, and that's not good.
Well, Gene, kind of follow your thought process on that. I know that with this pandemic that we've dealt with now, unfortunately, we haven't suffered as bad as some other people.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife and myself, just for regular healthcare issues, even in Winchester and here, we've had to wait months before just to get an appointment to a doctor. And I know as we get more mature, there's certain tests we should have on an ongoing basis.
Right.
And I know that it's time for me to have one. And my doctor said, I don't want to put you in that situation of going into hospitals having one of these simple tests. So you need to wait 2 or 3 months. And so now, if you'd have to go to some other larger areas down there, I imagine it'd even be more difficult trying to get these services.
Matter of fact, I would say it's going to be almost impossible to get a doctor's appointment within 6 to 8, 10 months. I mean, even now with me, I have a cardiologist,
Right.
and I have a terrible time getting if I have a issue to get over to see them,
Right.
because they're so booked up, and the one I go to is under the Valley Health system, even though I don't have Anthem, so
Right.
it shouldn't affect me at all.
Right.
But it could affect me in some respects. But again, though, it's just the principle, the thing of not trying. Well, I can't say that. They are trying to work together, and that's good. If when negotiations breaks down, then that means there's a stop to the issue.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they will continue to negotiate and come up with a solution that's going to be good and fair for all citizenry that's in this area, because they depend on Anthem and Valley Health as their medical services.
Right. Well, it is. I mean, you felt passionate about this enough to come in and talk to us a little bit about it. So now I'm going to have you change hats here. You're
Okay.
Instead of your candidate hat, now you're the mayor hat.
Right.
What do you suggest? What do you suggest we do? I mean, is there any actions you feel that we, as a community, we should take?
Well, yeah, I've already discussed this with our town manager, interim town manager, and one member of our council, and I'm going to ask the council to pass a resolution that we will send both the Anthem and Valley Health, requesting that they really continue to negotiate and what kind of impact it's going to have on our community.
Right.
And so I'm asking them to approve it, and so that we can get this moving in other areas. And I'm hoping that by doing this, that some of the other local communities, such as Strasburg and others, would possibly get on the bandwagon and do the same thing, because I'm sure they have probably a lot of
Same
Anthem
situation,
customers
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
In
Have
the
you
valley.
reached out to any of the other
I
members?
haven't been able to. I tried to yesterday, but I never was unable to receive it
Right.
to get anybody, because a lot of people are not like me. I don't have to work,
Yeah.
and I'm retired. But a lot of the mayors are people have to work for make a living.
Yeah, it's been hard lately.
Makes a difference.
Yeah. I mean, you have the resolution now. We know that resolutions are nice, but I mean, just a couple days ago, or last meeting, there was a resolution to ask the Attorney General to step up the pace on the EDA stuff. So, and I don't know whether that has an effect or not effect. Is there anything you think we should do outside just a resolution to?
Well, yeah, I do believe that if there's any way possible that we could set up a meeting, maybe, and as the mayor and maybe other mayors in the locality and anyone else, that we may be able to talk to and sit down with a meeting with Valley Health and Anthem and see if we can be of any service to them, and hopefully that somewhere along the line we can get this issue resolved.
Well, I think you get an opportunity to share with them exactly what kind of impact they're going to have on the community if that happens, and I don't think they're hearing it. Unfortunately, Gene, times are different now. And I think now it seems like when things are brought to public attention, whether we like social media or not, I think that it would go a long way in our community if all of a sudden the papers started or the news would pick up that mayors from surrounding area question president of Valley Health on impact of not negotiating. And that might put some public pressure on them to listen, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, again, when you say not negotiation, I think they are negotiating, but right now it's probably in the negative.
Yeah.
I think that could be a big impact through the media that we try to get involved and at least encourage them to work together and get some type of happy medium because it's all based on money.
Right.
And with the premiums of healthcare going up each year substantially, it's really, like I said, it's going to be a major impact, not only with the cost of insurance, but if we have to travel 40, 50, 60, 80 miles and then wait 6, 8 months to get a doctor because we're going to be out of the actual area that Valley Health serves, it's just going to be another big a negative to our community and our citizens. And I really don't want to see that. I want to see us all try to get along together and hopefully that with the new hospital coming in the Front Royal will be open next spring that we can see a big result here as far as having a new hospital and working together to fill it, or maybe not fill it. I'm not sure.
Well, it's beyond my thought process that they would build a brand new hospital here. I mean, it was already some controversy of not having a maternity ward on there and also not an intensive care unit.
Right.
I mean, that was questionable to begin with, and why they would spend all that money and put that kind of facility here, and then all of a sudden, possibly, anywhere the number you said, 20 to 50% of the people that could go there won't be able to go there anymore. It just seems like a bad deal, and I think you're absolutely right, Gene. I think it all comes down to greed.
Well, I think it's mostly that, even though, Valley Health is a non-profitable organization, but they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
well, they don't pay any taxes here for any of their facilities in town.
No, they do not.
Okay.
But again, though, when you look at the whole picture, how much is enough?
Right.
And I know there's a lot of people out there worth billions of dollars, and what do you do with money that if you got $1 billion, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wondered, what in the world would I buy if I had $1 billion other than what I already have?
Yeah.
And I say, nothing, because I've got anything I want pretty much now that I need. Now, there's a lot of wants people want, but,
sure.
can't afford it, but it can be good for it. But again, with Valley Health, I think that insurance companies nationwide, and I think they're gouging our communities, and I think Valley Health is trying to get part of that money in greed. Yeah. And I just think that instead of working with the communities, they're trying to make it harder for our citizenry to even get medical care and medical assistance when they need it.
Yeah, it's a real mess, Gene. But the last thing I'll bring up is one of the issues that was brought up not lately here with the council was this term called moral obligation. You know, it's a moral obligation for the town to pay for the police department. It's and we talk about moral obligation, and not too long ago, you know, one of the councilmen said that there is no moral obligation. So, does Valley Health? I mean, do you think they have a moral obligation and Anthem to provide this service to the community?
Well, in a way, I would say probably yes. But I also believe that Anthem has got pretty much the same amount with them because they're selling policies to
Right.
local citizens. So
Right.
I think that both of them have a moral obligation to the citizenry in the localities where they're located.
Yeah. I agree.
So, Northern Virginia, if we're living in Front Royal, they don't have any moral obligation to serve us.
Right.
But Valley Health does because they're part of our community. And I think that, in my opinion, that they would want to really sit down and try to serve our citizenry
Right.
in the locality where they're located.
Right. It seems to me that they have some commitment to our community, and not just leave us high and dry like this is what appears is happening now. So, I hope you're successful, Gene.
Well, I do too. I think the council will agree to sending out the resolution, and hopefully that it has some impact and merits for Valley Health and Anthem.
Right.
And like I said, if we can get some of the other mayors and other people involved in this that would send resolutions as well, would probably be a bigger impact than just Front Royal.
Yeah. Well, I know probably the Royal Examiner would follow all you mayors walking into the office of Valley Health in Winchester with your resolutions in hand. You know, kind of follow you into that. I mean, that would be
That's
newsworthy.
true.
Yeah, that would be good.
We'll look at that later because we haven't got that far yet. But if we can get that far, that could be something that might be very interesting to the general public.
Well, and this is kind of a crazy thought, but that would be a positive thing about the town versus negative, since we seem to have a lot of negative stuff going on. So maybe that would be a positive a national news flash on there that local mayors band together to stop the big corporation from doing.
Well, I want to make one comment. There are a lot of positive things going on in Front Royal, Warren County, but there are some negatives, and sometimes the negatives get more publicity.
Well, that's the
than the
only
positives,
thing people listen to.
But we have a lot of positives going on, and I'm hoping that one of the major ones will be resolved within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, good. Gene, thank you for coming in. I think
appreciate
you really, I think you're dealing with an issue that it just hit me, and I think we haven't until November 9th for the decision's going to be made or something.
I'm not sure. I heard that date, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, I'm hoping that they can get it all worked out before that.
Okay, good. Well, thanks, Gene. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you.